Dusk. One last review, and he's going to give his thoughts on the film
Yeah.
here, which is the Robert Zemeckis film. Dusk. Take it away,
Yeah.
man.
So here is basically a 2024 drama film directed by famous Robert Zemeckis, which is based on a 2014 graphic novel by Richard Maguire, which was based on a 1989 six-panel graphic, six in a comic strip, which is a set piece where basically the experiment was, let's take one single frame and just show a produce of time, new windows showing various time that has gone by at that single location. It is a single frame of movement with time moving forward, back, showing them from the future and the past, baby from BBC when the dinosaurs were around, when human beings just showed up, to when it was just the house was initially being built in the 1900s,
So,
everything in between. Yeah.
so all this movie just takes place in this single frame
In
of
this
shot, right?
single room. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
It's basically consider it like a stage play. If I mentioned there are stage play elements in Conclave, this is a very much stage play. This is the entire movie. This one image is right here. This is where the house will be built. This is where the house is built. And this is the various different moments in time that they kind of cross back and forth in the story of the Youngs, which is the story of the Youngs was played by Richard Young, who's played by Tom Hanks, and Margaret Young, who is by Robin Wright, who is his wife. And then it has his son, their mother, their father, and just various different people that come in and out of the spot in time.
Okay.
So really the movie is more on just a study, an extension of what the comic was about and what the panel was trying to experiment in 1989, which is kind of just a focusing on family life, the ins and outs, the conversations between Richard Young as Tom Hanks and Robin Wright as they go back and forth, and they show the various stages in their life before having kids, dating, just arriving. They're just Young's before that, like people beforehand, people that come after. Like when the house is still being built, the horse is going there, them setting up the house itself. So kind of switch back and forth between it, kind of similar to not quite similar to the movie we just talked about, In Time. We
Live in Time.
Live in Time. Yeah, that's the title. God damn it! So, I'm trying to hard remember that damn name. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but not as non-linear. But that's been the basic premise.
Okay.
It kind of switches back every once in a while.
Huh. Okay. And how long is this movie? It's like about 2 hours.
No, it's about 104 minutes. It's
Okay.
not quite 2 hours.
Okay, so it's hour and 40.
Yeah, out on 40, some change.
Okay. And I mean that concept of just being. I mean, there's movies that obviously take place in
Yeah.
one room or something
Yeah,
like
one
that.
location, one room.
Yeah. Does Robert Zemeckis do well with this? Because like it's just a single kind of, but it's like it seems like it's just in this
Yeah.
single frame of shot, not only
Yeah,
just in
it
this
is.
one.
It is a single frame shot.
Yeah. So how much mileage does he get out of that? I mean,
That's a very good question, Josh. I wish I could say I could say more, but by the 40-minute mark, I was kind of going, okay, so this is it. This is what this is going to be. It just, I respect that he followed the comic style and just focuses on a single room. I do. I kind of respect it. I like that he is trying to focus on this one specific area and then just show different places in time as we come through time, and that we're in fact here at this moment in time, and where is here at this location. And Robert Zemeckis is famous for his effects, so it's the effects show house. They show the meteors falling, they show dinosaurs, they show plant life, they show like, and it's at that, and then it just goes back and forth. But really, when you come down to it, the story is pretty, to be honest, kind of boring. It
Mm,
just focuses on family life, and it feels very much like a stage play as they go through various points and the families that have come in and out of that house and what happens to the house later on. I I wanted to like the movie more than I actually did.
mm. How do you think the de-aging looks like with Tom Hanks, Robin Wright? How do you think that looks?
I think it's all right, considering I know what they look like in real life. I think it's all right. I mean, he was the guy who was pioneering that kind of a technology beforehand. So there's one guy to get to kind of know how to do Uncanny Valley. You got Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, and I mean, we know what young Tom Hanks looks like because 'cause he's been in Hollywood for multiple decades there.
Absolutely.
Turner and Hooch, Philadelphia, all that good stuff back when he was,
Big.
big, yeah, younger actor, and obviously Robin Wright too, Forrest Gump, we've seen her much younger as well. And then with the de-aging, so it says the film uses new, generative artificial intelligence technology called metaphysics,
Ooh.
to live face swap and de-age the actors in real time as they perform instead of using additional post-production processing methods. Okay. I know AI is kind of a hot button issue right now in the business and the industry. Um, so you got that. And this is kind of getting beat up right now. It seems by critics. It's only a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is based on 76 critic reviews. The
Mhm.
consensus is that while it's heartening to see director Robert Zemeckis return to humanistic storytelling, here's stagey concept and overabundance of spectacle robs it of emotional resonance. Do you agree?
Well, damn, I don't have to continue then.
So you just kind of your opinion's kind of hokey there a little bit, like the whole
I mean,
thing. Like,
I kind of admire. I'm not as down on the movie as they are, but I can definitely see where they're coming from. Yeah, the spectacle kind of gets a little old. Honestly, the movie is too long for its own good.
mm,
I just don't think this would work for a short film. Just like the graphic novel that was a 6-page panel, it was 6 panels in a comic book. That was the premise. It's a non-linear told story where it's you can kind of tell that was the original concept, and then they tried to make it linear while keeping that non-linear element to it with people coming in and out of this one area. And while I do appreciate he focuses on humanity and people and the lives we live and how time has come and gone, I do appreciate that. But you by limiting yourself to such a specific area, you really needed to bring it. You really needed to make me just absolutely love these characters and love every second of it. And I just wasn't feeling it. I felt it came off hokey a little a few times. It definitely is one of those movies where I'm like, I want to love it more than I do.
mm, yeah. What about the performances here? Is it
I mean,
so?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so when they do these kind of moments of
Mhm,
moving through time, and you see all these different people who lived in this moment of time
mhm.
in this house. So how quick are those? Kind of are they pretty quick, or are they kind of coming
Some of
in
them
and
are
out?
quick. Some of them are setup moments to kind of counter to what's happening at that moment that what we previously saw, or setting things up.
Okay.
I mean, at one point you go to people back when they were building the house, and you see how it was built, how it was founded. That leads into people going to the first couple going into this house after the 1900s, and it's in like the 1950s, 40s, 1920s, and 30s when they first come in, and then people grow up there, and then of course Tom Hanks and Robert Wright come in a little later, so they're like the second or third or fourth family that's come in at that point. It's coming
Mm,
in and out of this house. At one point, you just see like indigenous man and women just there as well.
right.
There's um, there's just elements of just people kind of coming in and out, and but really the main focus of it is like Tom Hanks, Robert White, and a couple of other characters back and forth.
Okay.
But it's mostly their family focused, and other people are just used as a like
Setup.
setup. Yeah,
Okay.
setup, introduction, kind of back and forth. Again, it's one of those where I think 40 minutes in and out, short film. I think you would have gotten more mileage out of this than a full 90-minute to
Mm.
100-minute feature. I just don't think that it had enough legs to really carry it that far.
Mm. What'll be your rating? That's a deep sigh. Yeah.
Again, I admire it for doing. I admire Robert Zemeckis for at least trying to do something different. At least he has the stones to try and do something different. To at
Damn,
least,
that looks kinda I don't know, looks
yeah,
kinda video game-ish right there.
I know. It gets. It's not.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not great sometimes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's not great sometimes. Uh, I admire him for trying to do something different. I admire him for the setup initially, and I admire him for trying to set up and keep it to the medium and style that the comic had. But frankly, uh, I just think it's overindulgent, and so Robert's he's both overindulgent and not enough in certain areas.
Mm,
So either you need to really go all in on that human element, but it has too much of the Robert Zemeckis-ness in it, or go all the way crazy Robert Zemeckis and like really go nuts. And it kind of mixes both, and it just never quite, it just never quite is able to get me interested in it, fully invested into it. So with that said, I'm gonna give this a low rental, almost to skip it, but not quite.
mm.
It's not bad. It's a movie you could put on in the background and certainly be at least, oh, there's stuff happening.
Oh, damn,
There
okay.
is a CGI deer that I did like. Why are you doing that? At one point,
I
because
think it's
they're
in the
it's
trailer. Oh,
nature.
is it right there? Yeah.
Yeah, there was like the whole area where it's just grass and green, CGI deer, CGI hummingbird, and
Mm,
that's where I mean he like sprinkles in the CGI here, and I'm like, you could have really just condensed this and just had this really practically done for most of it, which he does for a lot of elements back and forth, and really would have said the same thing. You wouldn't have had to spend too much money on it.
mm. Okay. Alright. Well, Dusk gives,
Mhm.
here a low streaming for here.